Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Spiritualist Desert Church, our Sunday morning service. If you are joining us via Zoom, please remember that your microphones are muted throughout the service as we record these services for posting on our YouTube channel. If you're viewing us on YouTube and would like to join us live in the future, please send us an email request for an invitation. Thank you for joining us today. I'd like to welcome all of you who are here with us in person today and all those in spirit who have joined us. Welcome. My name is Nola Bonecutter-Vale and I'll be your chairperson today. I'm a longtime member of Spiritualist Desert Church. The Reverend Vicky Homann will be delivering our sermon today. Louise Barkdull will lead us in a guided meditation. And Alice Robertson and Lynn Collier are serving as Zoom moderators today, and they will also be giving spirit greetings at the end of the service. Thank you for everyone who's serving today. Please join me now as we open our service with prayer. Infinite intelligence, thank you for this day and the time we will share together here. We ask for your assistance and guidance in opening our hearts and minds to the service. Help us to find inspiration for our spiritual growth and understand. We ask for your help to find inspiration for our spiritual growth and understanding to create a more peaceful, loving life for ourselves and those around us. In love, light, and truth, amen. Spiritualist Desert Church is a chartered member of the National Spiritualist Association of Churches, headquartered in Lilydale, New York. The NSAC Spiritualist Manual provides us with the definitions of our religion. I would like to share these definitions of spiritualism and of being a spiritualist with you now. Spiritualism is the science, philosophy, and religion of continuous life based upon the demonstrated fact of communication by means of mediumship with those who live in the spirit world. Spiritualism is a science because it investigates, analyzes, and classifies facts and manifestations demonstrated from the spirit side of life. Spiritualism is a philosophy because it studies the laws of nature, both on the seen and unseen sides of life, and bases its conclusions upon present observed facts. It accepts statements of observed facts of past ages and conclusions drawn therefrom when sustained by reason and by results of observed facts of the present day. Spiritualism is a religion because it strives to understand and to comply with the physical, mental, and spiritual laws of nature, which are the laws of God. A spiritualist is one who believes as the basis of his or her religion in the communication between this and the spirit world by means of mediumship, and who endeavors to mold his or her character and conduct in accordance with the highest teaching derived from such communication. As spiritualists, we have no dogmas or creeds, but we do have 9 principles that we strive to live by. Please join me now in declaring these principles. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact, scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. We affirm the moral responsibility of individuals and that we make our own happiness or unhappiness as we obey or disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any soul, here or hereafter. We affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing are divine attributes proven through mediumship. It's my pleasure now to introduce our speaker for today, the Reverend Vicky Homann. Vicky is a longtime member of Spiritualist Desert Church. She was a member before it closed years ago, when Reverend Kit was our pastor, and she, along with Alice Robertson and others, reopened the church after it closed when Reverend Kit passed away. She's a beloved member of our church and continues to serve. She is an advisor to our pastoral committee. Please welcome the Reverend Vicky Homann.
Good morning, everyone. And I too want to welcome each and every one of you who've decided to be here today. Not only those of us here in the physical, but also all those in spirit who are with us. Our healers, our doctors, our teachers, and our guides, and especially our loved ones. I do welcome one and all. Well, happy spring, everybody. Today's the first day of spring. You can tell by all the wind, and you can tell by my voice because of the wind. But today is the first day of spring, and to me, that means a rebirth in nature. March is a very, very special month to spiritualists. On the fourth Sunday of March, as spiritualists in NSAC, we celebrate Gratitude Day. And that's a day to honor the founders of modern spiritualism and the workers who have devoted their lives to the cause of spiritualism. So thank all of you, because you're all workers in spiritualism. March 31st is also the anniversary of modern American spiritualism. On that day, the Fox sisters brought spiritualism into the modern era when they began the communication with those in the spirit world. But March is also special to us here at the Spiritualist Desert Church. Nola talked about it beautifully in the introduction. This is our birthday. We were reborn in March of 2003. I want to talk today about the history of our church because we have a wonderful history. And it's important that people be aware of where we came from and what we're all about in order for us to move on and become a strong, strong community. The Reverend Catherine Stewart founded the church in 1987. She was a spiritualist all of her life. As a child, she attended the Church of Two Worlds, NSAC, in Washington, D.C. The pastor of the church was H. Gordon Burroughs. He was her teacher and her mentor. And many of you may remember him. He's the one that wrote the book, Becoming a Spiritualist, which many of you have read. Anyway, under his mentorship, she began giving messages on the platform at the age of 13. Years later, her and her two daughters moved out here to Las Vegas. And Kit wanted to bring spiritualism to the desert, and she did. She got together with her sister who lived out here, the Reverend Bernard Baker from Arizona, and the Reverend Joseph Merrill, who was then president of NSAC, helped her get the charter here in Las Vegas. And that was in 1987. Reverend Kit worked very hard to form this church. And it had to close in 2003 because of her ill health. She worked so hard to bring us together. And then in January of 2003, there were many people at her home. She was in hospice at her house. And the Reverends Tom and Lisa Butler, the Reverend Janet Tisdale, talked to me and a few other people and said, keep the church going, keep the charter going. I went in and talked to Reverend Kit about it. And those of you who know Reverend Kit, she's about 4'5" and weighed about 20 pounds. She was laying on the bed, and I asked her if we could keep the church going, if that would be okay with her. Huge grin on this little face, and she just nodded. The next day I was at work, and I got a call from Carol, and she had said Reverend Kit had passed away. I think she just wanted to make sure that the church was going to continue. Underneath her pillow was a gold coin with an angel on it. Her daughter had never seen the coin before. It was an apport. Well, in February of 2003, 7 of us got together. And actually, the only ones that are left are Alice and I. But we decided to continue holding services and to reopen the church. March of 2003, we had our first church service in the home of Kelly. We started with nothing, absolutely nothing. We had no money in the bank. We had no place to be. It was like we were the phoenix rising from the ashes. And it took a lot of hard work, dedication, to move on. We met on Tuesdays because Sunday morning, Reverend Virginia held a church service, and Sunday evening, the Beacon of Light had their services. So we met on Tuesdays so we wouldn't interrupt those services. We did that until October of that year, when we got our own space. We were so excited. 400 square feet. Wasn't a lot of space, but it was our space. I remember that was the year that we attended our first convention, and that was Alice, Frankie, and I. We hit San Francisco, and we were known as the Las Vegas Showgirls. We put Las Vegas on the map. Our first sermon in our new church, because Alice and I were in San Francisco, was given by Ralph. It's a special time, special time. We stayed in that location for about a year. And then we moved to another location in that same shopping area, shopping strip. And then we needed to tear down a wall and grow even more. And we're continuing to grow. We're on Zoom now, but that's a part of our growth. Gotta get my dates here. Our first members meeting at Kelly's home, there was 3 of us, and that was a quorum. Alice said she'd do anything to help this religion grow and help Spiritualist Desert Church, but she did not want to become the secretary. Well, I was taking Morris Pratt, so I had to be the president. Frankie had her own business, so she became the treasurer. Guess who became secretary and did it for several years? And then we elected Kelly as trustee. Even she wasn't there, but we needed a trustee, and it was her house, so she was elected. In 2006, we held our national convention right here in Las Vegas. That was a big thing for us. I think we had 24 members, but we had a lot of friends of the church. And we did it. And we did a good job. At our first convention in 2003 was when Alice and I were introduced to Cozy Allen. We knew who she was. She didn't necessarily know who we were. But then when we had the convention in 2006 is when we got to know her. And she's been a friend of the church ever since. Some other important dates before I get into other things is December 27th, the year 2020, Jen Rosson was ordained. And then on March 31st, 2021, the Reverend Jen Rosson became a national board member. January 31st, 2021, Miss Paula Molino was ordained, and they're both still serving the church and doing a great job, and I'm very proud of them. Our church is more than just people. It's almost like a family. We're brought together. We've had a lot of phenomena in this church as well. I remember when I was first started coming to the church, I was told about this man who used to come there. He was homeless. He'd sit in the back and he slept. He slept through the entire service. And he kept coming back every Sunday. Finally, they got him a big oversized chair so he'd become comfortable when he slept. He then became a member and became our music person. Larry was a clavinova guy. Behind him, there was a wall. It was different shades of blue. And one day Edna appeared. Edna is the face in the wall. I'm going to show you this. I don't know if you can see it. Can you guys see that? That's Edna. Reverend Kit told me one time they were singing and it sounded like there was a choir coming from that corner of the church. Edna would appear and people would sit back in the back and watch the wall and watch it change. And it was beautiful. Well, because of Reverend Kit's ill health, we had to move. We had to close the church. We wanted to take Edna with us, but we couldn't. So on May 26, 2002, we had our last service. And we sent out energy and asked that Edna stay with some of us, any of us. We asked her to travel with us. Well, on May 27th, 2002, up in Reno, Nevada, the Reverends Tom and Lisa Butler were doing an EVP ITC circle. EVP is electronic voice phenomena. ITC is instrumental transcommunication. Well, after their circle, they looked on the computer and that's what they saw. And this was in the summit. And I got it from NSAC phenomena.com, which is no longer in existence. But this picture is in one of the summits if somebody wants to look it up. But she traveled with us. She made herself known. We've had, after one of our Wednesday night circles at the church with Reverend Kit, the trumpet. We had a trumpet on our clavinova. It raised off the clavinova, and several of us saw it. The Reverend Annie Otzelberger and the Reverend Richard Scholler came here and did table tipping. And I don't know if any of you have done table tipping, but I got to tell you, those tables were dancing. And they were going up on the wall, dancing. It was just beautiful. We had silk painting. Alice had a silk painting done. And on this silk painting, a picture of Reverend Kit's daughter was on that picture. We had gone down to Arizona to do this. Little did we know that right before that, Reverend Kit's daughter had been killed in California. We saw this picture before we were aware of that. But I think that was her way of telling her she was with her mom and doing okay. So this church has had a phenomenal history, and we continue. Look at, we're on Zoom. How fantastic is that? Thanks to Alice and Lynn. We can see people from all over the country and sometimes the world. We're Las Vegas strong here. We have so much to be proud of in this church. Each one of you are pioneers in spiritualism. Even if today is the first day you've attended, you're still a pioneer in spiritualism. Because you're learning, you're growing, you're loving. You're showing unconditional love to others. It's beautiful. That's what spiritualism is all about. It's about loving one another without judgment. We've had so many people pass through here, but one person who is truly a pioneer in spiritualism and a very, very important part of the Spiritualist Desert Church is the Reverend Cozy Allen. She's been my teacher and my mentor. She's been the mentor and teacher of many of you. She's not only given this church a great deal, but she's given the whole organization a gift. And she's given the world a gift when she teaches spiritualism. Our history is just beginning. The Spiritualist Desert Church will continue to grow and be strong because we are a family. We are connected. Do we have squabbles? Yeah. Every family does. But we're strong, and we're stronger for it. I got one more story to tell you, and I wasn't going to do this, but I'm gonna. So sit back, relax, and enjoy a story. Several years ago, a family came to our church. It was a grandmother, a mother who is soon to give birth to another baby, and 2 children. We welcomed them into our church. They were traveling. They had nothing. I'm not sure when it was, but I know it was around Christmas because our church adopted them. Made sure those kids had Christmas presents. One of our members got them a car. Another member had a home that they could live in. And we just embraced them. And then after quite a few months. They left in the middle of the night. They used our goodwill. And come to find out, they were doing that all across the country. And I tell you this story just because they thought that they took a lot from us, but what they gave to us was proof that we could give without judging. They scammed us, but that did not stop us from giving. This church gives to so many. It gives to teens who are homeless. It gives to the elderly every Christmas. We've got pets for vets. We got to vet a dog. We supported St. Baldrick's Children's Cancer. The Lyceum used to collect stuffed animals to give to children in the hospital. So that one incident did not stop us from giving, did not spoil it. And I am so proud to be a part of this church and to have all of you I just got to say thank you. I know that next month is the gratitude day, but I want to show my gratitude today. Thank you. I love you all so much. God bless.
Thank you, Reverend Vicky. That was an amazing for us. We are grateful for everything that happened. The history is amazing. Thanks for reminding us. I didn't know today was our birthday, but thank you. Thank you. This is a time that we set aside in our service for our love offering and announcements. If you would please join me in an offertory prayer. Infinite intelligence, as we accept these gifts given freely out of love and dedication, we give thanks for our continued abundance, both material and spiritual. We ask a blessing on those who give, and that they may be rewarded many times over for their selfless generosity. In the same spirit, we dedicate the use of these gifts for only the highest and best, and we will use them wisely for the benefit of this church, our community, and for all of humanity. Amen. We continue to accept love donations by cash or check to the address on your screen. In addition, we have PayPal available through our website, or there is a link posted in the chat. Thank you for your continued support of Spiritualist Desert Church. As you are aware, our physical building is still closed due to the pandemic. Our board of directors and the pastoral committee remain active and are available if you need assistance. If you have any questions about spiritualism, or if you're interested in membership, please reach out to us via any of the methods listed on the screen. Our weekly newsletter also has contact information on the last page. If you would like to be added to our email list, please let us know. You may also watch the recording of this Zoom service or any of our previous Zoom services on our YouTube channel. Search Spiritualist Desert Church on YouTube. At this point, I'd like to thank the workers who have joined us today, the Reverend Jen Ronson, the Reverend Paula Molino, the Reverend Vicky Homann, all from Spiritualist Desert Church. Thank you for being here today. The Reverend Joanne Cito, I hope I pronounced it correctly, from New York. And the Reverend Cozy Allen, thank you for joining us. Next week, our speaker will be, and I have to ask help from Alice or Louise on that because I don't know.
Stacy Kopczynski.
Great. Thank you. Please join us for that. As we begin the healing portion of our service, we invite you to join us in a meditation led by Louise Barkdull. Please join me now in the prayer for spiritualist healing. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and the power of God. Amen. Now, welcome Louise Barkdull. She'll lead us in our meditation.
Thank you, Nola. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our service. So glad to have so many people here today. And as Vicky stated earlier, happy first day of spring. Here we are. As many of you know, healing from spirit can be instantaneous. So some people wonder, why does it take so long for these meditations? And just a few minutes is not really long, obviously, but it's doing our part. It's preparing ourselves to receive that healing. Once we receive that healing, that is instantaneous. But me, I like enjoying it for just a little bit, just to feel that healing coursing through me. So with that being said, I hope that you will enjoy your journey with me this morning as we receive our healing. So first, doing our part, preparing ourselves. Please take a comfortably seated position if possible. Know that there is nothing else that needs to be done at this particular moment in time. There's nothing else to think about. Just spending a few moments with ourselves, with spirit, our doctors, our chemists, and our healers, healing ourselves so that we are better able to go throughout our week and reach out and help others as well. So as always, let's begin by focusing on our breath. Just focus on your breathing. Breathing in deeply and exhaling deeply. Stretching our lungs out. Preparing them for the healing that will come in. And as you continue to focus on your breath, focus on your muscles as well. Really focus on softening them, stretching them out a little bit, making sure that they're not all bunched up, but stretching them out so that they are in the best position possible to receive that healing energy. And then with your mind, focus a moment on your doctors and your chemists and your healers, inviting them in closely to work with us. Being open. What I want you to do next is run that movie through your mind, the one that is the speed up photography of spring, where you can see the buds coming out on the trees, where you see the sprouts coming up from the ground. They're all unbunching and stretching out and reaching toward the sun, just as we are reaching toward that loving, healing energy. Now take a moment, just like one of those plants, and bask in that sun, which is, again, really that healing energy. And open yourself to it physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Open yourself up and allow that healing in. Allow it to touch your body, your muscles, your mind, and your heart, both physically and emotionally. Drink it in and breathe it in and feel it come through your skin. And again, into your heart and into your soul. We are already healed, but it is nice enjoying those extra moments with it. But it is time to begin our return. So again, focusing on our breath, breathing in deeply, exhaling deeply, and at the same time, thanking infinite intelligence and our doctors and our chemists and our healers for this wonderful moment, for this wonderful time. Energizing us and helping us to be happy, healthy, and whole. Enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your week. God bless.
Thank you, Louise. That was a wonderful meditation, very relaxing. We continue to maintain our healing list and send out absent healing prayers on a daily basis. If you wish to add someone to our healing list, please send us an email request with first name only, please. Also, remember to include your pets because they're like family. Now we move into the message portion of our service. By definition, a medium is one whose organism is sensitive to vibrations from the spirit world and through whose instrumentality intelligences in that world are able to convey messages and produce the phenomena of spiritualism. A medium proves the continuity of life through evidence provided by spirit. Please understand that all mediums are psychic, but not all psychics are mediums. A psychic reads our energy and your aura. A medium brings through someone who has lived here on the earth plane. It's also important to know that a medium is not a medical doctor and therefore cannot and will not diagnose or prescribe. Also, please be aware that although this service is being recorded for YouTube, the message portion of the service will not be posted on that platform. As our service comes to a close, we would like to invite you to join us afterward for a virtual fellowship. We'll close now with a benediction from the Reverend Vicky Homann.
Infinite intelligence, we do thank you for bringing us together here today, those of us in the physical, as well as all those in spirit. We know that whatever path that we are on at this very moment in time is indeed the path for our highest and best good. Help us to walk that path in love and in light, in peace and in harmony, in joy and in laughter, in gratitude and in forgiveness. We do love you, and we do thank you, and so it is.
So it is. Thank you for joining us today. Remain on Zoom if you like for our virtual fellowship.